What's up guys, my name is OhDough and today we're talking about repeaters and booping behemoths in the maelstrom. Now when it comes to booping, not every behemoth has a boopable attack. A really good example of this is Nezaga. Its slide attack, its DM slide, you can't interrupt that. You can't, it's not an interruptible attack. You can stagger it sometimes and that'll stop it from moving, but that's not really an interrupt, that's more of a stagger. That's not really the same thing. So in this video, I'll just be showing you all the boops, and I'll also be giving my advice on what to use on the repeaters, because there are 3 things you can use when playing the repeaters to interrupt behemoths or boop them. The first is my favorite and preferred method for interrupting / booping behemoths, because it's just very consistent and it doesn't really cost much to do or use. And that is the Concussive Grenade, which is not a built-in mechanic for repeaters. Every weapon can use it. And the reason I like this method for repeaters is because it doesn't make you have to waste your Q to interrupt or your right click to interrupt if you're using weighted strikes in the Ballistic chamber. All you have to do is pop the grenade, throw it, land it, and it's interrupted. And you can save your Q and your right click for damage instead of having to waste them to interrupt the behemoth. And on top of that, it's pretty quick to deploy and it has no cooldown like your Q and your right click do. And anyone that's wondering why I keep saying right click, you can interrupt with Ballistic chamber if you have +6 weighted strikes. And to do this, all you have to do is land the shot on a behemoth that is doing an unstable attack. And if you land it, you'll pretty much interrupt it and Bob's your auntie, it's on the ground and you can do some damage now. Now the downside of this is that weighted strikes isn't that good of a sell. Yes, it'll let your right click interrupt, but then again, if you're using it to boop behemoths, you're not using it for damage and the hunts just take longer. Now, a cool part is that you can actually stagger behemoths with repeaters, which I didn't know that until recently. And it's actually kind of fun, but like I said, it's not very practical to bring weighted strikes, so I don't recommend this method, but if you want to, you can. And there's a build in the description to use this that's actually pretty strong. It's not as strong as a, more optimal build, but it's not bad either. Now, the last way you can interrupt behemoths with repeaters is with the Mind Grip, which I actually suggest over using the Ballistic chamber +6 weighted strikes method because it's just better overall, but even still, I still recommend using Concussive Grenades over all these other methods. But if you do want to use the Mind Grip, the way you do it is you have to first have an empowered reload, and then you have 3 ways you can actually set off this explosion to interrupt a behemoth with the Mind. You can throw it at a behemoth that is doing an unstable attack at you, and if you make contact with it, it'll interrupt it. You can throw it at the ground and then shoot it to explode it, which I recommend on certain bosses like Koshai because the blast won't actually go off until it's too late. And lastly, you can throw it at the ground and let it arm. And once it's fully armed, it'll turn orange and start blinking. And all that has to happen then is the behemoth has to run into it, and Bob's your auntie, you'll boop it. And the upside of using the Savager's Grip is that it meets most of the damage thresholds in the game. So for Deadeye, Cool Shot, and Skarn, it'll actually boop them. But for Heroic Deadeye, Cool Shot, and Heroic Rockfall Skarn, it's very, very hard to interrupt it, so I actually don't even suggest bringing repeaters to those fights, especially not Rockfall Skarn. On Deadeye, it's not that big a deal, but on Rockfall Skarn, repeaters is not fun. Take my word for it, not a good time. Anyway guys, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to interrupt all the behemoths in Maelstrom with the Mind Grip, and just know that pretty much most of these interrupts can be done with the grenade, and I'll actually post if they can or can't down below in the bottom left corner, so keep an eye on that. But with that being said, let's go ahead and roll the tapes.
Dying to hold you, but you left me for dead. How could I do what I've done if I'm in love? Messing with monsters up in my head. Lie to myself, lying beside her in my bed. paint over pictures you left behind. I'd punch the walls if it would make you change your mind.
And that is the end of the video, guys. Thank you again for watching, and if you liked it, be sure to like the video so other people can see it. And if you want to see more repeater gameplay, be sure to subscribe to the channel, because I will see you in the next one. Peace.